All right, what is up, y'all? Today is a tasker job, moving job. I got the moving sweatband on, so that's what we doing. Today is actually Saturday, December 30th, 2023. But when this video drops, it's gonna be next year, 2024. So definitely want to say Happy New Year to everyone. I'm excited about this year. I cannot wait. I got so many great ideas and plans for my business. But I'm going to use this video to basically be part one of a full review of my business. And I'll explain more after this. So this is going to be short. I'm just going to kind of show you what the job I'm doing, like a couple photos. And then once I'm done, just to minimize the length of my video, I'm going to get right into it with part one of a full 1 year review of my business. All right, y'all. So this is the apartment. It's just a 1-bedroom apartment. And we already moved the big items. So it was a TV stand, a couple tables, a sofa. It was a 2-seater sofa, so it wasn't big. And my van is right there. So we got it pretty much loaded up with everything, and I'll show you how it looks. But we're probably gonna have to make 2 trips. So the customer lives in this apartment, and he's moving to another apartment building, same complex, just a different unit. This one's on the 1st floor. And the other one is on the 2nd floor, and it has an elevator though. So we just literally moved probably about 8 items. So all we have left is this bed, and it's a king size bed. So I'm probably gonna have to come back for it. So no issues with that, and I'll let you guys know the pay and everything. All right, y'all. So like I said, this is the apartment. This apartment right here with the window open, right there. That's the one we're moving from. And it's on the 1st floor. We're just walking into my van right here. So we just got the 2 box springs. We're gonna try to squeeze the box spring somewhere on the side. This is all we're taking. So the heaviest item is actually this drawer, but other than that, everything's light. So just these little tables. It's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 tables, a sofa, 2-seater sofa, really small. That. This table, and then the box spring with the king mattress, and that's it. So, and we'll be moving to one of those buildings right over there. So very short drive.
1 hour later.
All right, y'all, we are all done. So we just loaded the mattress. I forgot to take a picture of it, but we just loaded the mattress, and I actually threw a couple extra items in there because we had room. And we moved from that building right there, to over here where we at, and just walk right through here. Elevators on the other side. Took everything up on the elevator, really easy. All done. So we finished in about 1.5 hours. All right, y'all, just real quick. So that tasker job, it was very easy. Again, we picked up from a 1st floor apartment, just like 7 or 8 items, moved it within the same complex, so literally almost walking distance, unloaded, and just we had to go back one time to pick up the king size mattress. Got that unloaded. So the whole job took about 1.5 hours. It probably would have been a little bit faster if it wasn't for, you know, like we can only take like 1 item at a time, go up the elevator, come back down, all that. So it probably would have been about 1 hour if it wasn't for that. So anyways, my charge for him based on that, I mean, really is no mileage, so I couldn't really charge that. I actually waived my leasing fee because of that. So I gave him a little discount, and I do explain that. So basically I'm charging for, it's a weekend job. I don't work on the weekend, so that's an extra charge. I charge for the special equipment, all my dollies, blankets, all that stuff. I had to use tape. So special equipment fee. And then he had heavy items. He had the sofa and the dresser was really heavy, over 100 pounds. That's an additional charge. So I was able to get it up to $200. So $200, I'm pretty sure they're gonna tip most moving jobs. They do give a tip. So I'm thinking I'm probably gonna get around $225 total, but my invoice was $200. So basically $200, and that was my charge. So I already broke down in another video how I do my Tasker charges, Taskrabbit charging. But you could do it however you want. That's just how I do it. It's been working for me. I've been getting booked consistently, and yeah. So anyways, all done. About to stop at Walmart, get some groceries, and then I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm gonna start part one of my 1 year review. All right, y'all. So this is part one of my 1 year review that I've been in business. specifically with my cargo van. So I just want to kind of give some a foundation of how this was even possible, because I honestly believe if I never moved from California and moved to Texas, I would not be doing this. So how it started. So I'm not going to tell you my whole life story, but I'm trying to summarize it as quickly as possible. My grandparents moved from Mississippi to California. They migrated to California. And my parents grew up as kids in California. During that time, obviously California was booming. So the housing market is nothing like it is today. Long story short, when I was 3 years old, my parents bought a brand new house in California, close to LA, which is the most expensive area. And it was a big, 2-story house, 2,500 square feet, 5 bedrooms, brand new. They paid $170,000 for that house. Fast forward, I'm grown, I'm an adult, I'm married, and I'm ready to buy my first house. And I was not able to buy my first house. It was just too expensive. I had to move to, it's called the Inland Empire, which is about an hour and a half away from LA, which is where I was working in LA area, just to buy a house that I could afford. I had a condo. A condo was my first residence. And my parents actually helped me buy that. My very first house that I bought was, I believe, $300,000. It wasn't what I really wanted. The house that I really liked, the one that was made for, a family of 5, or it was 3 at the time. It was a bigger house. It was I want to say a 4-bedroom, 2,700 square feet. Really nice house, brand new. I think I paid $400,000. But I had to commute an hour and a half to work. So very difficult to live in California for me. It just got worse and worse. So for my parents, it was a great investment. They obviously, their house now is worth over $1 million. Great investment. For me growing up, it's very hard to raise a family there. I had a job where I was making over $100,000 a year, and I was living paycheck to paycheck. There was even times where I had bills to pay, and like I needed my paycheck, and it was a week before my paycheck came. I had to borrow money from my parents before. It's ridiculous. Like, no one should make $100,000 and be living paycheck to paycheck. A lot of my neighbors, pretty much everybody worked. So the husband and wife both worked full time. For me, I don't know how we did it, but I worked full time. My wife was a stay-at-home mom. And I'm kind of old school. I don't really want her to work full time. Mainly, especially when we had kids, I don't want to pay for daycare, all that stuff. So I don't know how we did it. Only thing I can say is God helped me. I don't know. Because everyone around me, everybody's struggling. And, these are people with two incomes, husband and wife working full time, and they still struggling. So what pushed me out of California was the COVID stuff. California just lost their mind with it. People were fighting, and you couldn't go in the store and shop. Your mask, it's not over your nose, and they didn't want to serve you, and it was just ridiculous. And we kind of saw the hypocrisy in it. It's just how it just made no sense. You got these stores where nobody's wearing gloves. We're all opening the same door, touching the same stuff. But, if that mask is not over your nose, oh my goodness, you're just a threat to everybody. We didn't want to play that game. And that was the last straw. That pushed me out of California. Thank God it did. So I feel like, I'm led through the Spirit. Like, God leads me. He helps me make decisions. And it was definitely an act of faith, because I don't know anything about Texas. I've driven through Texas, but never stayed here. I don't know anything about the state. We actually were going to move to Florida. First, we actually had an agent in Florida. We were looking at Orlando, Florida. That's one of my favorite states. And I I decided to choose Texas because I also like Texas. I heard a lot of good things about it, and I like how it's kind of in the center of the U.S., so it's a little easier to travel. All my family's in California. So that was one of the, I'm skipping a lot of stuff, but that's one of the main reasons we chose Texas. So when I first thought about Texas, I was thinking Dallas, Houston, even Fort Worth. That's the areas we were thinking of. And when you say Texas to me, that's the cities that I think about. So we were planning a trip to come to Fort Worth. We found a couple houses we wanted to look at in Fort Worth. And I just happened to come across this YouTube channel. I don't remember the name of the channel, but the guy's name is Greg. And I don't know how he came on my feed. I guess maybe because I was looking for, houses in Texas, but I was putting like Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth. I didn't say anything else. And for some reason, this video came on my feed, and I'm so glad it did. Greg sold San Antonio to me and my family. I watched 2 of his videos, and that was it. It was history from there. I watched 2 of his videos. He explained very, very well why San Antonio is a great place for me in my situation. So the rest is history. I started watching his channel. I actually got in contact with him, and he got me an agent. And I put 3 weeks vacation in from my job. We came down here in October of 2020, I think, or 19, something like that. And we found our house in basically 3 days. The third day we found our dream house. So my house, brand new, built from the ground up. It wasn't even ready when we bought it. It was actually the very last house of the model that we wanted. And of course, I sold my house in California, so I did have quite a bit of money. So I put a lot of money down on the house. I think I put 160 or 170,000 down. My house was like 300,000 at the time. So currently, I only owe like 90,000 on it. So I definitely will own my house, which is something that I will never be able to say in California. Never own my house. So this is I'm sharing this because this is how my journey began. If I'd never moved to Texas, I do not see myself ever starting a cargo van business. It wasn't even something I would be thinking about. So financially, now I'm in a better position. I know I can own my house. My mortgage is affordable. I live in a state that, there's no state tax. The cost of living is lower. Gas is lower. I think when we were on vacation, gas was $1.60 during that time. And I couldn't believe it because I think gas was like $4 or $5 a gallon in California. So we were filling our van up with like 20, 30 bucks. So anyways, Greg sold San Antonio to us. That's how we ended up here. I didn't know anything about the city. All I knew is the Spurs. That's all. When you say San Antonio, all I thought about was the Spurs. That's it. I'm like, what is in San Antonio? I have no idea. I did not know they got a Six Flags here. They got a SeaWorld here, Legoland. They got, museums, the Riverwalk, a bunch of restaurants, movies. I mean, it's a lot of entertainment here. And it was just shocking because I didn't know anything about the place. That was my first time coming here, and we fell in love right away. Very family oriented, not a party city. It's perfect for families. So anyways, I'm laying the foundation. That's how this began. So my very first job here was I knew I wanted to do something in delivery. And my very first job was with American Freight, also known as Sears. They were bought out by American Freight. They needed a driver, and believe it or not, it's crazy. I got hired as a driver while I was in California, and my pay was $15 an hour. That's how much I made. And I drove a box truck, and I had a helper. And basically, my job was to drive and handle the paperwork, and my helper would install everything. So if we deliver a washer, a dryer, helper installs. All I had to do was drive, make sure it got done, and have the customer sign all the paperwork. So it was a very easy job. I did not get all my hours though all the time. So it was an hourly job, pay 15 an hour. A lot of times we didn't have deliveries, so there'll be days where I did not get any work. I was in my situation. Again, I do have a passive income. I do get paid through the VA, veteran benefits. So I have income, and I did not have to have a really high paying job. I just wanted something that I enjoy. That's it. I just wanted to do anything in delivery, something that I have fun and enjoy. So money wise, the minimum that I could make to pay all my bills during that time was like $12 an hour. So I was actually happy I got a job with $15 an hour. So during that time, I was not getting a lot of work, and I started looking into other ways to make money on the side, the days that, we only had one delivery or no deliveries. And that's when I signed up for DoorDash and Grubhub and all the food orders. So I started doing that as a side hustle. So any day that I didn't get my 8 hours, I'll just turn my app on. I'll do food orders to make what I need to make. So I absolutely 100% fell in love with the gig economy. I thought that was the greatest thing ever, especially coming from I've been, 9 to 5 pretty much my whole career. And, to be able to get in your car and work whenever you want to, just turn the phone on and make money, even though it wasn't a lot of money, but I fell in love with that. It just, the being your own boss slogan that, they kind of throw at you. I fell in love with that. And I'm like, I think I could do something with this, So that's when I started getting, researching different things. So let's fast forward a little bit more. So I did that American Freight for about 6 months, and I'm like, you know what? I like delivery. I already got experience driving a box truck. I want to do something that pays a little more. So I started looking around, and that's when I came across, I was looking on Indeed, and I found Sleep Number. I never heard of that bed in my life. Didn't know anything about it. All I knew is they were paying $17 an hour, $2 more an hour than what I was doing. And it was more of a skill job. So, and they kind of explain how, you'll definitely get a raise every year that you're with us. And, I liked it was more organized. Your hours, you get more hours, a lot more than what I was getting, even though it was an hourly job as well. And, I kind of fell in love with that. I was like, you know what? I could see myself doing that. I like the fact that, you're learning a skill, putting that bed together. And then, you also have to communicate with the customers and explain how it works. So I like that dialogue. I love, dealing with customers. So I'm like that. I can't be bored at that. Like that's something. And then, you travel everywhere. We travel up to 3 hours away. So I'll go all the way to Del Rio, just pretty much anywhere. Like we traveled all over the place. I even worked in Corpus a little bit. So, got that job and I loved it. I really did like it. I did not mind the manual labor. It was a really easy job. Really, the only work you do is loading your truck, which was easy because the box truck were dock level, so you pretty much just push everything in. No real lifting, and then the only time you're actually working, I'd say 80% of the time is driving. You're driving everywhere, and then about 20% is actually physical work where you're unloading stuff and all that. But it was really easy. So I did that for about 2 years, and I fell in love with it. I was in love, and I think I was continuing to do research about, delivery, gig economy type work. And I had mentioned to my wife that I think if I quit my job, because I'm only making $18 an hour. I think I was making 18 an hour. So I had been there for a year. I had moved up to 18 an hour. And I told my wife, like, I can make 18 an hour doing DoorDash or Grubhub and work my own hours. And I think the biggest fear that I had was what everybody fears is but what about, medical, and, what about your retirement, and, all the extra stuff that comes with the W-2. And, I told my wife, I'm like, if I quit and I go full time, I know I can make more than $18 an hour. Not only that, but you could do it too. While the kids are in school, we could both be working, and, she was down, and she was my support, because if my wife at that time, she said, nah, I think you should keep your job, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at. But I needed that support. I needed her to say, you know what, I know you can do it, and I believe you. I trust you. And because she knows how I am. And that was it, man. Like after that, I really started researching more and more. And then in less than a year, probably within 4 months, they offered me another raise, because I actually mentioned it to my supervisor that I might be trying to leave. And they gave me a raise. So that's when it elevated to $20 an hour. And when it hit 20, I was like, okay, the pay's good. I'm not having really any issues. The only thing is, I just feel like I can make more money, if I did this for myself. Like I could do this same type of work, but for myself. And I was just running different things through my head. I was even thinking about working with Sleep Number as an independent contractor and letting me pick up, there was a guy that picked up the old mattresses. Like we'll take the old bed from the customer and we put it in storage. And there was a guy that came with a pickup truck and a trailer. He'll take all those old mattresses. I don't know where he was taking it, but I'm like, man, I could do that. Like, I could buy me a truck with a trailer and do that. And I'm like, this dude, he got to be making some serious money. So anyways, that's when I was running through my head. And that's when the YouTube started. I started really looking at YouTube, delivery, owner, operator, and I was getting a lot of big rig stuff coming on my feed. And I watched big rigs, and I was even interested in big rigs. I was like, okay, but I don't know. I can't see myself driving a 18-wheeler. I'm not comfortable with it. I could drive a big vehicle, but the way people drive, I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And then, I always fear, like, I don't want to get stuck somewhere. I make a wrong turn and I'm stuck. And like, I'm like, it's just too big. I could do box truck or smaller. Like, that's what I was thinking. So once I made my mind up with that, that's when I started watching box truck videos. And that's where it started, basically. That's where the fire was lit. And it got to the point where, so basically, I want to say the very first cargo van video I ever saw was the Cargo Van Man. I believe he was the first. I cannot remember 100%, but I was watching a lot of his videos, and he was like doing like pallets of water. And I'm like, I'm looking at him and I'm just like, he's no different than me. Like, why is it I can't do what he's doing? And he kind of had a hookup, and I understood that. And, I was just thinking, like, with my work ethics, I'm like, I know I can get a hookup. I could do what he's doing, and I would love it, because, I'll be working for myself. And that's what got me started. And I didn't know anything about cargo vans. I saw cargo vans on the road before, and I didn't know what the people behind the wheel were doing. I actually thought they were company vehicles and stuff. I didn't know that there's independent contractors, driving these cargo vans and stuff. So anyways, so that's how I got interested in the cargo van. And I started watching more and more videos, and I was learning more and more. And I was introduced to OTR. I never heard that term in my life. I didn't know anything about nothing. I got a notepad and I started watching videos, and I just started taking notes. OTR, I learned what that is. UCR, I learned what that is. DOT, okay, I wrote that down. MC, I wrote that down. I just started watching videos on all those topics. Your authority, what is it? I keep hearing that term. What is that? So I started researching that, and I found out, okay, I see what an authority is. And then, it was literally months and months and months of watching videos and learning piece by piece, taking a little bit from everybody. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, OTR seems like that's the most money you can make. And I'm like, I already drive a lot. I drive 8 hours a day. So I'm like, that's not too hard. So I was very interested in OTR, and I'm gonna fast forward. I'm gonna skip a lot because I know this video gonna be super long. I'm gonna skip a lot, but basically it got to the point where I finally was at a position where I'm ready to buy this cargo van, start my own business, and do OTR. That's what I was researching. And I DG Got Hustle. He's the one that got me addicted to the Ford Transit. That's why I chose that, and it's more affordable for me. Even though the Sprinter van's a lot bigger, a lot of people use that van for OTR, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just starting off. This is my first vehicle. I'm cool with the Transit. And I was ready. I was ready to do OTR. I had actually went on Indeed. I got hired with Victoria Logistics out of Florida. They hired me before I got my van. And they told me, once you get your van, we just need the dimensions and you'll be good to go. I did the whole background, everything ready to go. They were going to be dispatching me loads. So I bought my van in December of last year, which is 2022. Well, it's 24 now, but it was December 2022. And I started my business in January of 2023. And once I got the van, I gave them the information. I was ready to go, OTR. So I was getting, they were sending me loads, and I'm not even gonna go into it. I did not like the bidding. I was bidding on loads. I could not win anything. I didn't have a lot of experience in bidding, but I watched a couple of videos, but I'm not even gonna get into that. Just know that it was not a good experience. I went about 2 weeks with nothing, could not get anything. And I'm like, I had the $1 million policy. I was spending a lot of money, and I was not happy about that. So I started researching, what else can I do with this van? Like, I kind of don't want to go out of state. I really don't want to do that. I told my wife, like, I'll leave for a week, maybe 2 weeks at a time, but I'll try to make, as much as I can. And, I had it all planned out, but my heart wasn't in it. So I'm like, I really want to stay local. What can I do locally? And that's when I started learning about contracts and all that stuff. And then I came across, I honestly, I cannot remember who the very first person I saw doing gig apps, but I want to say it was Cars and Cribs. I think it was him. I know I did come across Gig Geezer, and then who else was it? I can't remember. I saw a couple videos, but Cars and Cribs was the one that I think I know the very first video I saw of his. I believe he was doing medical, like picking up at a pharmacy. He was in a car. He wasn't even in a cargo van. And his energy got me excited. Like, he was just pumped up, amped up, and we about to get this. I was like, oh my goodness, this dude he is crazy. And but I loved it because you could feel the energy. You could feel like, man, like, and it's so easy. Like, you're literally driving from A to B, making money that easy, all because you have your own vehicle. And that's what got me excited. So I started following him, and then I saw the episode where he bought his van. He bought his Mercedes Sprinter van, and that was it. It was pretty much, that's what changed me from OTR to local gig apps. I had no idea that you could do gig apps. I never heard of it in my life. Didn't know that was even possible. And I'm like, wait, like app like DoorDash, like, but for a cargo van, like, you can get loads. That was a game changer after that. And so I started following his channel. I started following Gig Geezer, and I started soaking up all the information. And as he was sharing the different apps, I was checking to see what's in my market, and I saw a lot of them were in my market. So I think the very first one was Dispatch. So Dispatch was the very first app that I got on, and the rest is history. You guys pretty much saw my very first video. I ain't gonna lie, man, I was nervous. as I don't know what, because I'm not a social media person. And I told my wife, I'm like, I kind of want to share my journey because I know I'm gonna be successful. Like, I know I want people to witness this scary looking dude got the camera turned the wrong way. I didn't even know what I was doing. And I want people to witness this guy that left his $18-20 an hour job, invested in this cargo van, and watch what he does to elevate. And I'm like, that's gonna be an awesome thing and it's gonna help people. It's gonna help somebody because I know exactly how some people feel. There are some people, I know exactly how you feel. The fear factor is some people talk as if it's just so easy to just leave your job and do this. I don't like arrogant people. I don't like people that just brag about their money and all like that. I don't do well around people like that. I'm very humble when it comes to that. I love the opportunities that God has given me. And there's people that need my channel to take that leap of faith. They need to see someone doing it. And I'm like, I'm going to show daily, week. I'm going to show them the real earnings. I'm going to show them the real, what it really looks like. Everything I got to go through, everything I learn, it's going to help somebody. And I ain't gonna lie, I was scared, but I was so determined because, you know, when I put my mind to something, it's gonna happen. Like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make it happen. And the Lord provided a way for me to get this van. All these apps were available, and it's just a game changer. So you guys kind of saw throughout the year how I tried OTR, didn't like it. I'm not into contracts. I don't want it. That's like a 9-to-5 to me. Fortunately for me, and this is one of the main reasons I share my earnings with you guys, is because, you know, I don't have to make a ton of money. You know, I shoot for 200 a day, 1,200 a week. That is really good money where I live, my personal financial situation. And some of you guys need way more money than that. So I like to share, you know, my earnings. I like to tell you, hey, you know, if I make $100 and I go home happy and you watching my video, you can be like, this dude only made $100. Like, why is he so happy? But if I say, hey, you know, I make, you know, I got a passive income and, you know, I have money, you know, like I don't need to make $500 a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is all I try to make. And if I don't make it, I'm good. And then I tell you my plan B, you know, how do I get to that 200? How do I get to my 200 a day? You know, if I don't reach it, you guys know my plan B. I'll jump in my little car and I'll do food orders. You know, if I need to make an extra $30, $40, whatever. So I'm showing them plan A, plan B, but ultimately you have to set your own goal. If you say, I need $300 a day, if you know that you can make $300 a day when you buy that cargo van, then go for it. If you know, like, it's going to be a struggle, I don't think I could do it, don't do it. You know, don't do it until you're ready. I knew based on the number of apps that were available in my market and the way I am, like I told my wife, I said, if I got to buy some lawnmowers and throw them back there and mow somebody's lawn, that's what I'm going to do. Like, I'm going to make what we need to make with this vehicle that I purchased. So anyways, I know this part is really long, so I just wanted to give you guys my foundation. This is how I got to where I'm at. This is how I was able to start my own business. It started with that move from California to Texas. And there's a lot of people that helped me along the way, a lot of YouTube videos that helped me. I appreciate every last one of them. I'm so happy and glad that people share information. I know some people have been attacking me because I won't share 2 carrier companies. I'm not sharing them. This is a business. I'm not sharing it, but I share everything. I share all my apps. I've shared carrier companies. It's just 2. There's 2 of them I'm not sharing. I worked really hard to find them. They're helping my business, and I don't want to hurt my business by sharing it to the whole world. So anyways, I just wanted to lay that foundation, and I am going to do part 2. Part 2 will be more about every decision I made as far as this first year, good and bad, everything that I would do differently, everything that I've learned, every app that I've tried, that I have and tried, every carrier company that I have and tried. I'm just going to share everything. I'm going to lay it all out. gonna tell you my honest opinion about how I feel about my decision from leaving the 9-to-5 to working for myself. And that's pretty much it. So I'm thinking it's gonna be a 3-part series. Part 2 will be right to the point. I'm just gonna go straight into here's what I would do differently and all this and that. So all right, so appreciate y'all hanging with me this long. But that's the end of part 1. I will catch y'all on part 2. Catch y'all on the next one.